Hello and welcome to another video in my Fundamentals of Orchestration series. Today I'll be discussing the Clarinet family of the woodwind section, and I'll look at several of the more common types of clarinets in detail. I'll discuss timbre, technique, and idiomatic writing. Let's get started. The Clarinet family includes the B-flat and A clarinets, the higher-pitched E-flat clarinet, the E-flat alto clarinet, the basset horn in F, the B-flat bass clarinet, the contralto clarinet in E-flat, the B-flat Contrabass Clarinet, the piccolo clarinet in A-flat, and a few others I won't discuss in any detail. While the B-flat, A, and bass clarinets are standard orchestral instruments, the E-flat clarinet and contrabass clarinets are rarely used in the orchestra, and the E-flat alto, contralto, and basset horns are more common in wind ensemble music. All clarinets are single-reed woodwind instruments, meaning that sound is produced by air vibrating between a mouthpiece and a single reed, often made from cane wood. The clarinet has a cylindrical body with a bore that is only slightly conical. Most clarinets are made from wood, however the larger members of the family often contain metal. The term clarinet is related to the medieval term claro, an early version of the trumpet, as well as the high register of the Baroque trumpet called the clarion register. The modern clarinet came into existence in the early 18th century as an extension of the chalumeau, a Baroque single-reed instrument. The range of the modern clarinet can in fact be divided into the lower chalumeau register, the middle clarion register, as well as the very high altissimo register. These registers have unique timbral qualities that I'll discuss further and demonstrate using examples that I've composed with sample libraries from Orchestral Tools and Spitfire Audio. The most common form of clarinet is the soprano clarinet, or simply clarinet. It comes in two different tunings, B-flat and A. The B-flat and A clarinets are roughly the same size and can be used interchangeably in terms of timbre and technique. The written range for both instruments is E3 to A6, so the B-flat clarinet's sounding range is from D3 to G6, and the A clarinet's sounding range is from C#3 to F#6. While the B-flat clarinet is more common overall, as it's favored in wind ensemble music, it can be much easier for a clarinetist to read music in a key with many sharps with the A clarinet. Most orchestral clarinetists will have both available. As I mentioned, the clarinet has three parts to its range. The lowest octave, called the chalumeau register, is warm and rich. There's a break in the middle of the clarinet, which is the weakest part, but above that is the clarino register, which is bright and expressive. Above the clarino register is the altissimo range, which is piercing and more difficult to play with control. Like the other woodwinds, it's best to approach this part of the range with care, and leaps up to this range can be difficult. The clarinet is an extremely versatile, lyrical instrument, capable of agile passages with a wide dynamic range. It's great for slurred and tongued passages, including large leaps. Double and triple tonguing is possible, but certainly not as easy as it is on flute. A prolonged succession of short notes can be problematic. Trills and tremolos are very effective, as are glissandi. Flutter tongue is possible for some, but not all clarinetists, and multiphonics are possible, but not advised for orchestral writing. The clarinet in E-flat has the same written range as the B-flat and A clarinets, but its sounding range is from G3 to C7. The E-flat clarinet is more difficult to play in tune, and therefore avoided in modern orchestral writing. It has a very piercing upper range, even more so than the B-flat or A clarinet, otherwise their technical abilities are similar. Listen in this example to how the overall timbre is perhaps more nimble or less heavy than that of the B-flat or A clarinets. The bass clarinet in B-flat has a sounding range from C2 to D5, sounding a major ninth below written pitch. Like the upper clarinets, the bass clarinet has a chalumeau register that is especially dark and rich in timbre, and a clarino register that is a bit thinner and less intense. Because of its size, it's not as agile as the higher-pitched clarinets, but can still manage fast passages with leaps and arpeggios. This first example demonstrates the lyricism and expressive color of the bass clarinet, as well as the timbral shift between the upper and lower registers. The next example demonstrates the punchy sound and timbre of low-register staccatos, a very common technique for this instrument throughout orchestral music. Most of the remaining members of the clarinet family are quite rare, at least in orchestral settings, but occasionally you'll encounter a piece containing a contrabass clarinet part. The B-flat Contrabass Clarinet has a sounding range of C1 to C4 and has a very dark and rich low register, similar to the contrabassoon. It's much more common to see this instrument in wind ensembles or concert bands. The basset horn in F, the E-flat alto clarinet, the E-flat contralto clarinet, and the piccolo clarinet in A-flat are rarely found in the orchestra, although they are used quite frequently in wind ensembles, military bands, and clarinet choir pieces. I might discuss these instruments more in a later video on writing and arranging for wind ensemble, so stay tuned for that. That should do it for this video. Next I'll be discussing the bassoon family, and after that I'll dive into orchestrating using woodwinds. See you next time.